Chapter 5, Episode 7. The Marseille Factory and the Jutsujinjin Wind Power Generation System. In August of 1147, two ward horses were galloping across the plains in the Marseille's territory. One was ridden by Palais and Blanche, and the other by Pharma and Lot. Pharma and her family had gone to Marseille to search for land and inspect a pharmaceutical factory. This time, only the members of the Medici's family went to Marseille. Ellen had offered to take care of the medical treatment, so she and her part-time pharmacist were left in charge of the store, and the otherworldly pharmacy continued to operate. "The horse is going too fast. It's dangerous. I want you to slow down." Blanche, who was sitting in front of Pear, her ass floating in Pear holding her by the neck, her face drawn with fear. Peret's horse was a war horse, so it was quite fast, and Blanche was terrified that she would be swept off her feet. She clung desperately to the horse's mane. "Where are you, Mr. Farmer? Have we arrived already?" And Lot is clinging to Pharma's waist with her eyes closed. Lot is not good at riding or hardly experienced, so her body is straining more than necessary. She said, "Don't open your eyes, Lot. If you hold on tight, you won't fall off." With her face nuzzled against Pharma's back, she shakes her head from side to side, saying, I can't. She is busy trying to stick to Pharma snugly, and then moving away when she feels embarrassed to stick so closely. Pharma smiles, wondering if Lot's puberty is almost over. "So, Pharma," he says, "are you sure you want to stay here in the country? Are you sure you want to be out in the country like this?" Pear asks Pharma in a loud voice as he drives his horse. "I'd rather be in the middle of nowhere. I think this valley is a good place for us." "Look, I see it," Pharma responded, looking at the map. He had spotted a valley in the Marseille that was close to the pharmaceutical factory and where the sea breezes were blowing. It was an uninhabited wasteland that Adam, the acting lord, had found for him. The plan was to build a prototype large windmill here and use it as a wind power station to generate electricity for the Marseille pharmaceutical factory, for starters. So this is the place where Sophie Sama can do her Billy. It will also make Pharma Sama feel good. Tilda. Pharma laughed at Lot's crude understanding of electricity. "I'm going to feel good," she said. "Ah, is that so? The best place to generate electricity is where the wind blows or where there is a stable source of water with a difference in elevation. I don't understand your need for electricity. But at any rate, the world is still turning without it." Pear said, "Good grief," and reined in his horse. He fully supports his brother's idea, even if his mouth is saying things like, "Another one of your ideas. You see, having electricity allows me to do quite a few things. Can't you use divine art? Can't we use crystal stones?" Palais returns to the fundamentals. He said, "It can be done with jutsu, and there may be room for development, but it is a technology that must be usable not only by the nobility but also by the commoners. Even if it can be used only by the nobility, that doesn't count as usable." When conducting genetic testing, Pharma was keenly aware of the inconvenience of not having electricity. The lack of electricity required Sophie's cooperation, and the technology that could not be tested by anyone other than Pharma was, to put it bluntly, meaningless. Besides, there have been many times since my reincarnation in this world when I wished I had electricity. X-rays, electrocardiographs, biochemical analysis, pacemakers, ultrasound machines, artificial heart, lungs, and so on. The benefits of electricity to medicine are innumerable. The question of bringing electricity to a civilization that has never heard of it has been one that has troubled Pharma as well. Or rather, we have not sat up and taken notice of it because of this problem. Life with electricity would transform the world. We have managed to avoid using electricity up to now, but if we want to provide more advanced medical care, electricity is a must. Pharma knows a lot more than just pharmacy, doesn't he? Lot praised him. Chemistry and physics are the foundation of pharmacy. Math, physics, and chemistry other than biology don't seem relevant, but they're usually taught thoroughly in the pharmacy school curriculum. And the reason why Pharma is even familiar with electricity is because he has a pharmacy school and graduate degree. So he has studied physics, chemistry, math and informatics, as well as electrical engineering knowledge in his liberal arts and professional courses, and personally. With a university teaching job coming in right ahead of him, he wanted to hurry up to get the power generation system up and running. To do that, I first had to secure land. Well, as I said the other day about genetic testing, anyone will be able to do PCR and electrophoresis. Not only for the Jinjutsu user, but for Lot as well. Even me, I want to do it too. What was it you were going to do? Lot raised her voice happily. It's also dangerous, in my opinion, that anyone can do it, even those with no knowledge. Per seems to have considered the dangers of electricity being used by the ignorant masses. So why don't we make a device that is safe for the public to use? I see. There are many ways to generate electricity. Thermal, hydro, wind, and nuclear, but they all work on similar principles. Electricity is extracted by moving a magnet in and out of a coil of metal wired in layers. It is efficient to rotate either the coil or the magnet, but electricity can be generated using anything that has that power. It could be a water turbine, a windmill, or a steam-powered turbine, Pharma explains. You make it sound so simple. Per convinced me that it wouldn't be too difficult. I don't understand, Lot said, her face wistful. I don't know, said Lot with a wistful look on her face, but we can bring the electricity to the factory and use it for pharmaceuticals and experiments. If it works, we'd like to get the power generation system working in the capital as well. Wind power. Sure, windmills would be a turning force. But isn't the wind weak in this valley? It is Perret's opinion that a gentle breeze is not enough to turn a large windmill. So, he said, I asked my brother to follow me. What, me? Parrot's voice, which he seemed to think of as just a social gathering, turned inside out. I want you to write down here the magic circle that will bring in the wind. Pharma heard from Oren that there was a kind of divine art that could lower the atmospheric pressure. Ellen could only write with the water attribute, but Pal could write with all attributes. Ellen told him, I am a water jutsu user, so even if I write it, the jutsu will not be activated. It seems that it is the culture of a divine arts user to go to the trouble of studying something that doesn't activate. That's fine. Well, okay. Per dismounted from his horse, assembled a large black staff, thrust it into the ground, and began a long chant. A few moments after he started chanting, a wind attribute magic circle was woven together like a magic circle of light made of circles and 7-pointed stars. Polly fixes the magic circle to the earth. The magic circle is sewn into the earth and appears to be complete, but the wind does not blow, perhaps because of its different attributes. It's done. But what are you going to do with a formation that doesn't move? Polly asked again. Thank you, Per asked again, but what are you going to do with a camp that doesn't move? I'll try to move it. After Per had finished setting up the formation, Pharma set up a large crystal stone that he had brought to the core of the formation. In the crystal stone, Pharma compressed the divine power. The magic circle began to move with light, and a strong wind blowing in from the sea began to flow across the valley. Moreover, the wind speed was always constant. Aren had said that since Pharma's divine power was neutral and not bound by any attributes, it would activate any attribute of the divine arts. Pharma, what have you done? Why is the wind attribute's formation moving? I thought you were the water attribute. Per was startled and froze. Maybe it was just a coincidence. The divine power poured into the divine art formation is in fulfilling state. This will last for months. What have you really done? The endurance of the jutsu is said to normally last for a week at most. I wonder how many decades it will last before the divine power packed in the crystalline stone runs out. Pharma thought, but did not say it. Once the jutsu giant is set up, the wind blows under the same conditions for a long time, right? Yeah, it should stay the same. It should be the same whether it's nighttime, whether there's no wind around, or whether there's a storm coming in. We could build a transformer and connect it to the power grid. Let's turn this place into a wind farm. Pele then went with Bruno to inspect the territory, while Pharma and Lot went to inspect the pharmaceutical plant. The plant's pharmaceutical production plant had been completed. Simple organic chemical synthesis experiments had begun, and mass cultivation of actinomycetes by Professor Casper and others delivered from the Imperial College of Medicine was underway. How is the plant operating, and how is the product being produced? Once at the factory, Pharma called out to Chiara. She was a medical priestess by nature and could use advanced divine arts, so Pharma had put her in charge of the pharmaceutical factory. Yes, we are ready to produce and ship the medicines. Here are the documents. Chiara answered as she took off her white hazmat suit. The production of antibiotics being developed by Professor Casper and the Imperial College of Medicine, as well as oxygen cylinders and some synthetic organic medicines, is on track. Have you had your quality control thoroughly checked? Pharma confirms. Yes. We have been checking the sterility of our products through validation tests. And inside the factory, which requires clean operations, we employ employees who are Wind Attribute Jinjutsu users and maintain a strict level of cleanliness through Jinjutsu. We maintain a cleanliness level of Class 100. Cleanliness is an air conditioning term that refers to the number of airborne dust particles 0.1 micrometers or greater per cubic foot of air, Pharma previously told Chiara. By that measure, Class 100 is about as clean as the pharmaceutical plants of today's Earth, or even the cleanest semiconductor plants. This surprised Pharma. That's pretty clean. I think it's the result of the efforts of Ms. Chiara and her employees. Thank you very much. Knowing that the use of the divine arts can create a clean space, Pharma re-evaluated the advantages of the arts. However, with the priests working in shifts 24 hours a day to maintain that environment, Pharma thinks it is still necessary to provide a stable supply of electricity and reduce the burden on the workers. I'm sorry to burden you with this, but we'll make sure you have electricity, and we'll make sure the air conditioning is automatic. Pharma apologizes. I would appreciate it if you would do that, but the Divine Art Users team is working very hard with a high level of awareness. We can't afford to contaminate the precious medicines developed by Mr. Pharma and other doctors. Chiara proudly states the clerical, technical, and manufacturing employees are selected for their abilities, and they are well paid and motivated. What about the other employees? They seem to be enjoying their work. They are taking good care of their health, inspired by the words of Pharma-sama. Those who were exposed to their chronic illnesses by Pharma when they were first hired are now regaining their health through continued medical treatment. When the factory operations were winding down, Pharma held a recreational party for the factory employees. Pharma personally hired a pastry chef from the imperial capital to make sweets for the open-air sweet party. The factory employees could not stop their hands from reaching for the array of high-end sweets that the common people had never seen before, such as cannelés, macaroons, fondant au chocolat, a new crème brûlée, a fruit platter, and a chocolate fondue. These are so good, my cheeks are about to fall off. Even a big man was grabbing them eagle-eyed with childlike delight. Master Pharma, may I take some home to my family? I wanted to let my children eat it, even if only once in their lives. An employee, who appeared to be a mother, pleaded with Pharma. I'll take it home, but you have to eat it by the end of the day. With these words, fights over the sweets began everywhere, and finally a fight broke out. Everyone, please don't panic. Don't panic. We have everything you need. I'm happiest when I'm eating something sweet. Oh, but I'm also happy when I'm working at the pharmacy, and when I'm painting, or taking a walk, or napping, which I can't get rid of. Lot made sure to secure her own sweet treat and was happy to indulge her taste buds. Literally boned and ecstatic. I felt like I was going to be prodigal as it was. Lot has a lot of fun things to do, and she's got chocolates all around her mouth. I'm having a lot of fun with Lot. Please don't look at me. Lot hurriedly covered her mouth with her hand and ran away, not forgetting to take the plate of sweets with her. When the party was over, all the employees lined up in the factory yard for a commemorative photo with Pharma, the founder of the company. There were more employees. Since the last time the photo was taken, the workers' expressions had relaxed considerably, and smiles appeared naturally on their faces. Let's take a picture every year. The company intends to make the photo shoot an annual event. After the film was developed, he handed out the photos to all the employees. Thank you, Mr. Founder. I am very proud to work here. They received the photos with words of gratitude. Even though pharma would be gone, the Marseille pharmaceutical plant, the center of drug discovery, would continue to develop with the support of many people for a long time, and the medicines would reach the empire and the world to heal people. Falma thought of this,